Get that crystal ball out, because we're looking into the future, talking about what is coming in the world of video games in 2025. We chat Nintendo Switch 2, the potential cost of GTA 6, and games we're stoked to play this year. Leah brings back a round of Walk Down Memory Card Lane as the crew guesses which game released on May 18th, 2015. All of this and more in the GoGCast. So let's go!
Get ready for the Girls on Games podcast, your weekly dose of news, reviews, and everything video games. Always served with a good helping of hype and just a pinch of salt. And now, your host, Leah.
Welcome to another Girls on Games podcast. My name is Leah. I'm the host of this show. This is episode number 479, and the girls are around the digital table with me here today. Catherine, what's up?
Hello.
Hi, Joelle. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yes, I've been up since 4 a.m., so if I don't make sense, I'm blaming it on that.
We'll get into why she was up at 4 a.m. in a few minutes. But first, housekeeping. I'd like to remind you that if you enjoy this show, you can subscribe. We're available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Podbean. If you'd like to get some GOG merch, you can do that by going to designbyhumans.com/shop/girlsongames. Or maybe you'd like to give us a tip, maybe buy us a coffee. That's at our Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/girlsongames. Joelle, how was your San Francisco trip?
Oh, it was amazing. That city is the vibe. Like, It is so cool. It's, built my calves are crying because you had to walk everywhere and it's not flat.
No.
So that was somewhat unfortunate, but I did get a lot of my steps in, and it is just, it's gorgeous. It's so pretty. It's so, I don't think I've ever been anywhere that has this type of like feel to it. I was trying to kind of put it in my mind, like, is this like anything else or places that I've been? And I don't think so. It was really cool and chill. People were really nice. Everyone was so nice. And everyone was happy. It's just like, it's crazy. Also, it's a very like fitness forward city. Mm-hmm. And so people were jogging all the time, just jogging everywhere, up the hill, down the hill. There were cyclists that were also everywhere, just cycling all over the place. And they had a lot of like boutique corner gyms. So I didn't see too many chain gyms around, but there was a lot of like neighborhood, small local gyms that people were going to and were full. So that was good. That was just kind of like fun, people are really focused and into that. And then the food was so good. It was so great. I can't wait to go back. 10 out of 10. I also would recommend, at least for me and like how I kind of like to experience things, going in January, while it was cooler. So like it usually hit, the morning was kind of chilly, maybe like upper 40s and foggy. And then it would get maybe to high 50s, low 60s during like the midday. There wasn't that many people like out and about, or that many like tourists. I mean, there's still a lot of people visiting there, but so there wasn't as many folks around to like, deal with fighting crowds or fighting lines. And if I did get in a line, I was never waiting in line for more than 5 minutes, like to get something. So I thought it was a really good time to go. And I didn't feel like, as walking out and about by myself, like I didn't feel any sort of way or like vulnerable or anything like that. So that was good. And Friday morning, I got my tickets to go to Alcatraz. So that was really cool. If you're ever like people are interested in or curious about that at all, I would highly recommend doing that. It's that federal prison on the island, like the movie The Rock with Sean Connery in it, is I think what most people know it from. But the tour was so cool, and it's an audio tour, and so they did a great job with the audio, like telling the story, and you just walk like all along in the prison. It takes you all throughout the prison. Um, and that was just really neat to kind of be on your own, like self-guided audio little adventure. Um, and the grounds too on the island is so interesting because it was this terrible like prison place, but then they've also converted a lot of the spaces to restoration and gardening. And so you have this experience of you're going to go see this, penitentiary that was shut down because of how terrible it was. And then all of a sudden it's like gardens and beautiful flowering plants and stuff like that. And so you can walk all around the island. They have different paths and stuff that you can walk along, and it's really pretty. So it's really like beautiful. And then there's also a beautiful view of San Francisco from the island, so you can really see the cityscape. And so that was on my bucket list. And then the other thing that I really wanted to do, that I've wanted to do since I was in high school, was go to Muir Woods to see the redwoods and to, take in the sequoias. And I was lucky enough to get a spot. You have to have a reservation to go. You can't just drive up. Like, you have to book your parking spot in advance online. And I was able to get a spot. I was able to get a spot right outside the entrance. So there's a small parking lot, and I was able to get a spot right out there. And it was magical. Like, totally blew away my expectations. I have never been in an environment like that before because the trees are so tall. They're so big. They're 200 and at least 250 feet. So let me see what that in meters. They're so big. It just like it felt so tiny next to these. It's 76 meters tall. These trees are, and the smell is very sweet and earthy, and I like clay. And so, for me, like in Minnesota, and like going up to the Boundary Waters, the smell of the woods is like piney and fresh. So it just was a totally different sensation to be, in this forest, in this park. And when I got there, there was a free tour that you can just walk alongside this guide. And that was incredible. And I was surprised that it was free. And he was wonderful. He talks to us all about, how the tree root system works and how they grow and what happens when they, how they help reproduce, how they're able to sustain themselves because they drink so much water. They need like over 300 gallons of water a day.
What?
God damn.
Yeah, like
where does the water come from then?
The air. So because it's so foggy in the morning, and they're so freaking tall. He talked about how they can, depending on how big the tree is or what the tree needs. They're not pine needles. They're not needles. Obviously, they're not pine, but they're not needles on the end of their branches. They're really small leaves. And depending on what the tree needs, they can change the molecular structure of their leaves to absorb more water or less water, depending on what they need. And so we talked all about how a lot of times they get, the water from the ground, because there's also a stream or a stream that runs through it where the salmon spawn in Muir Woods. And then in the mornings, he said that the trees just like soak up all the moisture from the fog. And so they get it like from the top and the bottom. That's like how they're able to like get all the water. So, but it was a really beautiful park. It was such a crazy experience. And it's so, because the trees are so tall, you don't get a lot of sunlight down at the on the ground level.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'd be walking around, and then all of a sudden these small rays of sunshine would split through the trees and just create a like ethereal and just magical sensation and backlight and light things up, and it was kind of damp, and I don't know, like it was truly like beyond. So I feel like I'm so happy that I got to do it because it's been something I wanted to do for a really, really long time. And I just went and did it, and I'm very satisfied.
And
So,
you did this trip all on your own, right?
yeah, I did it all by myself. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've traveled by myself like for work and stuff before, so I kind of knew how I like to travel. And when I go by myself, I really don't stay out late much at all, like after dark. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
I don't really do that. Um, when you're talking to people, I never say like, "Oh, I'm by myself," or
Mm-hmm.
I'll never like say like where I'm staying or things like that. But yeah, no, I never felt like I never felt vulnerable or freaked out at all. That's why I was just like, I really liked the city because I didn't feel any sense of danger or apprehension. The one time I was a little concerned, is when I was in Muir Woods. It's on the other side of the bay, and it's just south of Sonoma. And I really wanted to do a wine tasting because I was in Sonoma, and I was already over the bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, and I called a few places because it was, a last minute, and I said, do you have any openings? And there was one winery that I went to called Square Peg, and they had an opening. And I was driving, and when you're driving up that, Highway 1, it's very rural. So there's like cows and farming and all that kind of stuff all the way around. And as I was going, I thought to myself, where am I going? And am I going into, some stranger's place? I ended up kind of moving into some more residential areas where there were some, home wineries with grapes. And I thought I was like going to someone's house because like I went into a driveway and I was a little, it was a little, it was a little sketchy. But then it turns out that it was just their showroom, and it was fine. But that was the only place where I'm like, where am I going to this tasting? Because it wasn't a big winery, but it was great. They were really lovely. They stayed open for me. It was just me. They gave me a whole rundown of the grapes and the wine, and I bought a bottle, and it was so great. So I had a fabulous time. Can't wait to go back.
Excellent. Catherine, what'd you do this week?
Yeah, nothing that exciting.
Me neither.
I'm gonna be honest. Kept it pretty quiet. I have a friend who's moving off of For Honor to go on another project in Montreal. So he's not leaving the company, but so we had a little 5 à 7 type situation. Mm-hmm. Going to Ciboire for drinks, and there was a lot of people that came by that used to work on For Honor with him. People I haven't seen in a while, so that was nice. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Other than that, I've been cooking using my new immersion blender. I made chocolate chip cookies, so I had to use the whisk attachment. And not as good as a hand mixer, a proper hand mixer. Will work in a pinch.
Cool.
But yeah. What else did I do? Yeah, no, it's been very, very quiet. My post Christmas. Christmas was too hectic, so I had to.
Yeah.
I understand that completely. Yeah. I spent most of the weekend playing games, not gonna lie. Saturday night, I was sitting in the back playing games. Mike was out front playing games, and I turned to him and I yelled, "We're that couple now!" You staying to play games on a Saturday night? We're that couple now.
Yeah.
What a
happy.
glorious.
It makes me feel
glorious
so
time.
good.
Yeah.
So good. I have been puttering around a little bit with the bot for the Fantasy Critic. So thank you for those who... I know between Darth and myself, we've been setting some stuff up and getting things going and trying to make it easier when we get to this point in the podcast each week. We talk about the Fantasy Critic, and we have, of course, the community bot kind of running in our channel. Then I went and set it up in a kind of dummy channel that we have for GOG for testing and playing with things. And I have it set up there for our league. But yeah, interesting week in the Fantasy Critic realm. On the podcast side of things, Joelle, you are first on the board. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD had a critic score of 78. So you got 8 points. So that puts you currently in first. But yeah, no bids, no drops this week. We didn't do much of anything when it came to ours. That is not the case on the Community League. First on the board is Al Bang with Dynasty Warriors Origins. It had a credit score of 81, which means he got 11 points. But the world of the bidding was everybody went buck wild last week. So let's go. Anno 1117 Pax Roma was won by Al Bang with a bid of $16. Unfortunately, Stainsby Kingsby also had bid on it with $5, but didn't get it because he was outbid. Revenge of the Savage Planet was picked up by Pat, IRR Gamer, with a bid of $6. Pugs and Pixels, Jessica Starr's publisher, would also bid $6, but must have lost because of tiebreakers, so potentially Pat had bid first. Yes, Your Grace Snowfall was won by Ross Cool Games for Attractive People with a bid of $6. Jessica tried to get that one too with a bid of $2, but it didn't work. She was outbid. EA Sports FC 26 was won by Stainsby Kingsby with a bid of $5. The unannounced Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake was won by Jessica Starr with a bid of $7. Demon School picked up by Margot with a bid of $15. The Killing Floor 3 was won by Phoenix with a bid of $6. Resident Evil 9, unannounced, was won by Ross with a bid of $6. Pokemon Black and White Remake, also unannounced, was won by Stainsby Kingsby with a bid of $5. Blue Prince was won by Margot with a bid of $10. And last unannounced Donkey Kong platforming game was picked up by Ross with a bid of $11. So lots of movement there, lots of people adding stuff into their rosters. Alban currently sits in the first as the first person with points on the board. Once again, Alban coming in clutch with the minimum effort, maximum return.
Bare minimum. Barest of minimums. Didn't even show up for the draft.
Love it. Love it. All right, I'm curious to see what you ladies have been playing. Catherine, how is Dragon Age 2 treating you?
I just hit the third act. So I think I might be finished this game.
Oh wow.
Before Avowed comes out. Because I do want to play Avowed. So do I put a little break in my Dragon Age Braid Rot for Avowed? Or do I jump in straight into Inquisition? It's going to depend on how quick I finish Dragon Age 2, I think. Because Avowed is...
It also depends on if we get a review code, I suppose.
Yeah.
That too. Like if I can...
it comes out around my birthday, doesn't it?
February
The actual
13th.
release?
February
What day?
February 13th.
Oh, wow.
So
It's
just
before Valentine's Day. I thought it was coming out close to my birthday. Wow.
So in like the commercial release is in 3 weeks. More than that.
The
Where are the
13th
20
20 days?
Yeah. About 3 weeks. If we get an advanced copy, I could be playing as of early Feb. If Xbox Canada, seriously, hit us up. I'll review it. But yeah. So far, so good. Just going to stick with my review of Dragon Age 2 saying that it did a lot of things right, did a lot of things wrong. Definitely, apparently, I need to read Blood, Sweat, and Pixels on the chapters on Dragon Age 2.
Yes.
Yes.
But
You should.
Yeah.
You should read that whole book, Kat.
Yeah, the book's great.
Yeah.
You'd like it. I'm sure there's a narrated version, an audiobook version that you could grab too. It's probably Jason doing that.
Yeah, I'm not good with audiobooks. I tend to, I know this is very ironic because I've been running this podcast, doing this podcast for 10 years. Yeah. I'm not an audiobook or podcast girl because I will tune out somebody who talks in my ear for too long.
What are you saying, Catherine?
Yes. So if I'm not active, yes. I am the worst passive listener. If I am not active in the conversation, like when we record, I'm listening to you guys, I'm active into it. Like this is even if it's an online recording, it's still like we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
I rarely make it through any long form podcast or I just tune shit out. Too easily. I have issues with a lot of long form video for that reason.
Do you watch things in 1.5 speed in order to try and get it in? I do that too for a lot of, and look at me not speaking correctly. I do that too in a lot of cases, especially ones that are like tutorials and they're trying to bring you through it, because I find that people, maybe it's me being a newfie, and then also Quebecers too, we all speak really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, speak fast, let's go, let's get it on. And sometimes people are very long and verbose, and I just want to put it on fast forward.
Yeah, it's also like sometimes you're like, I just need the information now. A lot of content online today is made to sell ads, I feel. Things like that. So I don't know, I'm not the target audience for long form podcasts and ebooks. I do enjoy though the more snackable content. Like I can do a 10-15 minute video. I did the super HB Bomber guy, his video.
Yeah.
I did watch it the entire thing, but it's it was basically I did chapter by chapter over the course of a day. If I want to go into focus mode at work, music is better.
Okay.
So if I have to that's why I bought a bunch of UX books and I'm trudging through reading them, because it's not something I can do casually, leisurely. And
I can't do audiobooks or podcasts or anything if I'm trying to focus and work, and respond to people. Then I forcefully tune it out. But if I'm drying my hair, cleaning the house, walking to the subway, doing any of those things, I'm constantly listening.
See, that's probably what I need to do, because Pascal's a big podcast listener and he's a longtime listener of this. I'm like, you hear me all day. You hear me all day. Why are you listening to me rant about shit?
Because he loves us.
He listens a lot while he does chores around the house, doing the dishes, cleaning the bathroom. He listens while he works out to podcasts and things like that. So maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should switch from music to audiobooks while I work out.
It takes me so long to do my hair in the morning, and I've got that dryer thing going, and I just pop in the headphones and put on noise canceling, and then just dry my hair while I'm listening to a YouTube or podcast or something, audiobook. It's great.
See, in the morning, I do 15 minutes of YouTube while I put on my makeup.
Oh, there you go.
But it's I put on fucking trashy YouTube. But yes, I'm sorry for me to pull out the curtain and be like, I am not the best.
She's a gabber, not a listener. That's what she's saying.
I am definitely a fucking gabber. I am a good listener, but
you are a good listener, but you have to be actively in the conversation. You can't be a passive.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just too long of a corporate career being stuck in meetings with people gab that I've got this. The tune out is too easy and too fast and too quick. If I want to focus on something, I will tune out as soon. So that's why stuff like music, or maybe more lighthearted narrative content. I was an avid Critical Role listener. I would put on Critical Role. I would in the morning while I did my makeup. If I was going to draw on my iPad for an extended period of time, I almost did it all the time while listening to Critical Role. Because if you miss a thing or whatever, it's just oh shit, what happened? Rewind or go look into the show notes or like on Reddit, like what did I miss? But it's narrative, right? And it's long form. I find like stuff like Blood, Sweat, and Pixel or like the UX books I'm trying to read, you just got to be focused. And there's very little times in my day where I could be listening to somebody tell, like basically giving me such dense information.
The one good thing about Blood, Sweat, and Pixels too is like each chapter is about a different game.
Yes, yes.
So it gives you like you were talking about like the chapters and whatever, you can consume it that way. And trust me, the stories are in depth enough and intrigued enough considering we've been doing this for 12 years now and your day job that you would probably be pretty keen on it because you're like, oh, I know that game. Ooh, that happened. Ooh.
I think this is the kind of thing that like reading the actual book or reading an ebook, not listening to it, would do me better. Because I do consume a lot of that content just written.
Yeah. Maybe I'll ship you my copy. I have a paperback copy.
No, it's fine. Darth from our server offered to...
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And there's like 20 people at work that were like, I'll bring you mine and lend it to you. Like it's... you don't have to spend on postage. Okay. I have easy access to the book for free thanks to many people in my life. But yes, because I do like my long form content tends to be either narrative story shit that it doesn't matter if I tune it out for a few minutes or read.
Cool.
Sorry, long segue to say to say a lot about myself.
You were right. You said it. Truth bombs. Joelle, did you get to play anything while you were away?
I did. I got Balatro.
I
didn't bring any gaming system with me this trip. So I just brought my iPad and I played a lot of Balatro. Balatro on the plane. I have learned to not play Balatro before bed because apparently a streak in Balatro runs like at least 45 minutes. And so I've like told myself like you cannot play this before bed because if I get stuck on a run, like I'm gonna keep going until I'm done. And so I've been playing Balatro is really what I've been able to get into.
Nice. Are you gonna both of you ladies, Infinity Nikki, please join my cult.
I'm gonna download it. I am gonna
do
join.
it. Do it. And now is the time to do it because there's an update coming on January 24th / technically I guess here is the 23rd because it's based on a different time zone. There's a new update coming with new outfits. It's called the 1.2 update, the fireworks season update.
Amazing. I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna do it before I go to bed.
Do it. Okay, a note. If you're going to do it on PlayStation, you can straight go up and download it in the store. If you're going to do it on a PC, I recommend the Epic launcher. You will have to download twice. There's one where you download like the launcher and then you download the game. So give yourself time, do it overnight.
Okay.
It's a long install. But yeah, I am obsessed. This is exactly the game I need right now. And it's cutesy and wholesome. And I like dressing up my character. And I like seeing, like, it's just the little things, you know? Like, they have this system called Eureka that essentially there's one that goes for around your head, ones that go around your wrists, and one that goes around your ankles. And it's essentially like having, like, neon glitzy like animations following you around, like constantly have sparkles following you, and they help in your like challenges where you have to have points in your outfits and things like that. It's just an addiction. And then I went down the rabbit hole yesterday of just like trying to understand all the different mechanics when it comes to like currency that you have in the game, because there's like umpteen different currencies on purpose to confuse you and make you spend money. But once you figure it out, you're just like, oh yeah, I'm in this. But you could, the whole gacha mechanic is definitely like a thing. Like there are definitely timed things that you can't get past unless you just wait the time out or pay more money or whatever else. But god damn, is it ever pretty? And does it like stroke that urge to want to be a magical girl in all aspects of my life? And I'm not even into like bows and, the flouncy stuff and whatever. But goddamn, is it so pretty. And why haven't we gotten something like this before?
It feels very Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor Sakura.
Yeah.
That is so in its bones. It's
like somebody that grew up watching these shows played a shit ton of Genshin Impact and was like, I can do this. That's what it feels to me. Sorry, hitting my mic again. That's what it feels to me.
Yeah, it is. But I just can't believe it took us this long to get to this point, because I feel like we've always had like lead ups to. Do you remember the Sailor Moon RPG that like never really came to North America?
Vaguely, the one on Super Nintendo?
Yes. So I played an emulator of that eons ago, and I was like, why do we not have more of these types of games? We need these types of games. And this just, it's everything. I love it.
I'm so excited.
It's not, there's combat, it's collecting. None of it is hard, right? Especially for those of us that are used to playing some like legit hard games, like especially when it comes to like combat systems and all that kind of stuff, and being like dexterous in our movements and button pressing and whatever. But it's just enough that you're just like, it makes you feel real good. You get that adrenaline rush when you like beat a boss or collect a star or figure something out, and you're just like, yes, this is great. So yeah, come join my Infinity Nikki cult. I'm definitely taking more people, and especially since the weekend there's going to be new content coming. So yeah.
I might download it on my phone.
It's downloading. 10%, 11%.
Phone is supposed to be getting, they talked about some updates and stuff. It is not as attractive on the phone. Just
really?
It can't. Yeah.
Oh.
But PC, go for it.
So they're on PC and PlayStation 5, you said?
Yes, not Xbox. Xbox and Switch is the two they're not on.
Okay. But if I want to play on PlayStation 5, I got a sub. To play online?
No.
It's not an online game?
Online. It's an online game. There's an online connection, but you're not playing with other people. At least I can't imagine an online would like block you from it.
Because I am getting a PlayStation 5 at the end of the month.
It says online play required.
Oh.
Damn it. Never mind. Yeah, I'll do the PC install. Yeah.
Yeah, it says online play required.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I didn't buy the PlayStation 5 for it to be a main console or anything. It's just because it was cheap and I want to play Ghost of Yotei.
Priorities.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, because my friend upgraded. He got his PlayStation Pro over the holidays.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Great.
And then Pascal was like taking the train back and forth, so he didn't want to lug the console. But they're meeting for a chalet weekend at the end of the month. So my friend's going to bring the PS5. They're going to use it to play games while they're at the chalet. And then because Pascal's getting a ride from a friend, he'll bring it to me. And then I can do the factory reset and install my shit.
Nice.
And looking forward to add into the people who can review games, but also,
You got a smorgasbord of content to play.
So good.
Yeah, I gotta catch up. I want to play Astrobot.
Yeah, I still haven't played that.
Get to play Ghost of Yotei without waiting for it to come to PC.
Yeah.
Have you done all the Spider-Mans? Are you caught up with Spider-Man?
No, I bought and installed Miles Morales. Never played it.
Well,
haven't bought Spider-Man 2.
I haven't played Spider-Man 2 yet.
You can do Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. So good. Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 is still just on the console, right?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yeah. I think it's coming to PC. It might be coming this year. My Google crashed. I don't know. Google hates me right now, so I can't check. But I think it's coming to PC this year.
Spider-Man. What did I write?
Spooderman.
And to PC. Just announced at Marvel's New York Comic-Con panel, Marvel and Spider-Man 2 is coming to PC on January 30th, 2025.
Yeah.
Okay.
This month.
Man, I could play it. But yeah.
Wait and play it on the PS5.
Yeah, definitely play it on the PS5.
I am definitely finding out that I'm more like of a console girly. The good PC is a good idea for me in general, but the PC gaming was it was all right.
I've been really floating back and forth, like Infinite Nicky's another one of those that you can play it in 2 different places, and just flipping back and forth on my account and really appreciating that, because sometimes I just don't want to be in this room. But if Mike wants to use that TV, well, I got to go somewhere else. So
Yeah.
back here is good.
Yeah, it's going to be good to have the PlayStation, because like just to share, like just sharing the account for Game Pass has been iffy sometimes. But now I set my Xbox as my home console, so that should fix me using my Xbox account on my phone or computer while he's playing NHL there. So, because before he would play on the PlayStation 4, and then I could use anyway. But yeah, just collecting consoles.
Yeah, I won't kick him out.
Not anymore. No.
All right, ladies. Game of the week. Bring it back. Walk down memory card lane. So the team will have to guess a historical game that would... No, it's not going to have released during the time of this episode airing. I didn't rewrite this. So it released in the past. We'll start with the release date. I'll give you hints about the game. The team will attempt to guess what it is. As always, ladies, you can talk it out. I should rewrite this for later. Oh, my Notion's not open. Bear with me.
It released in the past.
All right. This game released on May 18th, 2015. Let the guessing begin.
Oh, spring 2015.
All right.
Oh boy. That was that a PS? That was PS4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have been. No, that year where we got like all the games, people with bows and arrows. I think it was 2017. Like there was Breath of the Wild and everything. So
The bow and arrow content was strong.
There was
bow
like
and arrow era. That's hard
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
because there was
I
like
guess-
Breath
yeah, I
of the
did not say
Wild.
arrow.
There was Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There's a lot.
they came just after 2015. So maybe.
They did indeed. Was there a Batman? Was there a Batman that came out in 2015?
I don't know, but it's not Batman.
Okay. Well, thanks. Okay.
Do you want another hint?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Came out on PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and Series S, GeForce Now, and Microsoft Windows.
PlayStation
Jesus
5?
Came out on everything.
PlayStation 5 wasn't a thing in 2015.
Doesn't matter. It came out on all of those consoles.
Oh, it later ported.
Yes.
Oh, I see. I was really confused.
GeForce
Ugh.
Now. Now, there's a name I haven't heard in a long time. What came out in 2015?
Was there a Tetris? The Tetris.
It's not Tetris.
Okay.
Why am I drawing such a blank? Wow.
I'll give you another hint. The main
Yeah.
story has over 50 hours of content, and completing all side quests and activities can take over 200 hours.
Oh.
That sounds like any RPG I played.
Yeah, I was going to say an RPG.
Yeah.
In 2015. Was it? Oh, wait. When did Inquisition come out? Is that earlier?
No, it's about that time.
Was it Dragon Age Inquisition?
No.
Oh.
I don't think it got ported though. That's why I didn't
fair.
say.
Oh, fair.
Is it Skyrim? Or
No.
we already did Skyrim?
It's not Skyrim. One other hint.
Yeah.
Skyrim might be 2013 as well.
Over 450,000 words were recorded for the game's dialogue, equivalent to more than 35 hours of spoken lines.
Was it Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
No.
No, it's fuck. Oh no.
It's fuck.
It is on the tip of my tongue. It is Pascal's favorite game. I played it this last year. It's goddamn, you're
MLB The Show.
no, you're a detective. You're drunk. You forgot your memory. You're amnesiac, and you rebuild your personality playing this game. Disco Elysium.
No. Damn it.
She was so.
So
I love the
adamant.
confidence. I know.
No, but it's like it broke record for the amount of dialogue in that game.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good guess.
One other hint.
Yeah.
Decisions made by the player can lead to 36 possible ending states.
Whoa.
Yeah, that is not Dragon Age Inquisition.
Would it be a horror?
No,
Okay.
it's not a horror game. I'll give you that.
No.
That feels very
30.
Disco Elysium-ish, though. 36 different states. Oh, it's Near Automata?
No.
Near Automata also has like 20 different endings.
Oh.
Made by the Japanese dude that wears the big head.
Yeah. He's so
Do another hint.
individual. Yeah.
It's won over 250 Game of the Year awards, making it one of the most critically acclaimed games of all times.
And we forgot it.
Yeah,
what
you
it
forgot it.
And we are not thinking about it at all.
Mhm.
Fuck, 20.
Wait, is it Elden Ring?
No.
They didn't have much dialogue in that, but
No.
try.
Elden Ring didn't come out in 2015.
No.
Just throwing out names of games.
And
well,
they not a lot of dialogue in FromSoft games.
No, it's all written. There could be 450,000 words written in a
Yeah.
FromSoft game.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no dialogue.
a lot of reading.
My God.
Wow. I feel
You want
real
another
dumb.
hint?
I feel real dumb.
We'd be same. Like people are
Okay.
screaming at us.
Yeah, they're definitely screaming. 16 free DLCs were released for this game.
The Sims?
No,
Right, they're not free DLCs for The Sim, they're bought. Sorry.
these are free.
Free DLCs? Oh no. Oh no.
And
oh,
dialogue.
no.
It's like, this is like,
This is what happens when you don't play this game every week. You forget the things, so you're like, yes, that's a good question, and yeah, that's a good one. 'Cause, yeah,
Was it World of Warcraft?
no.
their DLCs aren't free
All
either.
right, this one will
true.
help. The main character's beard grows in real time as you progress through the game, adding to a unique touch to his appearance.
That did not help me at all.
Is it Grand Theft Auto?
No, that was 2013.
Oh. But I was close.
What?
Yeah.
The beard grows. Cat, the beard grows as we go. Who? I don't know.
Oh my god, I really didn't expect we'd go this deep into my questions. My questions are good.
There are, but it's like, beard. What did I play? The character had a beard that grew.
2015.
That's also like on
Everything.
everything.
All right, I'll give you another hint. The game was localized in over 15 languages with full voice acting in several, including English, Polish, and Russian.
Oh, was it The Witcher?
Yes, it is The Witcher!
There
Oh,
it is.
God.
Okay. there it is.
I was like, guaranteed when I say Polish, you'll get it.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. I didn't
Oh
know.
my-
I didn't know his beard grew. I didn't know that.
God, they all
Other-
make sense now.
Other,
That makes
I had
sense.
3 other hints. The game is filled with pop culture references and Easter eggs, including nods to Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. Many monsters and folklore in the game are inspired by Polish and Slavic myths. And in December 2022, the developer released a free next-gen upgrade. The Witcher 3,
Right.
A Wild Hunt.
Yeah.
There you go.
I can't believe that. it
And
took that
those
long.
free DLCs were bangers.
Yeah.
I
Like-
couldn't reference any of them because you would have known them right away, like Blood and Wine and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Whoopsie
yeah.
daisy. It's just, I wish you just would have talked about Geralt.
But
Wine.
I forgot that his beard grew.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
you
I forgot
groomed
that
him.
too. Like I wasn't really paying that much attention. Maybe because we were with him for so long, I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or it's the kind of thing that I found out, like, as I was on the last quest, I finally found the barber shop and I could have been shaving his stupid ass. Like, but I feel like I've changed his hairstyle from the ponytail to a few things. I didn't realize that when you change his facial hair, it would grow back.
That's cool. I like
I
that
remember
fun
that
fact.
being a kind of like a thing-esque in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm. I
Mm.
There
still need
were
to
a
play
barbershop
that.
and everything that you could go to in town.
I need to play that game.
Red Dead?
Yeah,
You do.
two. Yeah, two.
It's an
Play two.
adventure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into topic of the week, which is looking forward into 2025. Very topical considering the news that came out last week. So we'll get into that right after this break. And we're back and looking forward into the year that is right now, 2025. And considering we're in January, news has already been popping off, which is kind of fantastic. At the end of last week, we were all just waiting here patiently for news of the next Nintendo console, and we got it. So we're going to talk about that and a bunch of other things. We're going to drag Joelle through this because her computer is on its last legs here right now. It needs a reboot, something fierce. But we're hoping that it's going to hold out and we'll go through before she has to do a reboot. But yeah, last week, to kick this off, because obviously this is something we've been talking about for the longest time, speculating, anticipating, kind of wanting to know when is the next version of whatever the next Switch is going to be coming. And we saw tons of leaks and things because of CES and stuff, and we were just waiting for Nintendo to tell us that there was going to be a direct of some sort, and they didn't. They just dropped a video of what is the Nintendo Switch 2, and then alluded to a direct in April. So we're going to be waiting a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is very clearly like, you can't leak it if we announce it early type of reveal.
Yeah, there's just too many leaks. I think they were like, okay.
I'm just throwing back to when we got the original Nintendo Switch, and when they had teased that, and it was back in October, and they were calling it the NX, and they're just like, it's coming, but they didn't really say much of anything. It was like that sneaky picture of Mario like sneaking his head behind the curtain or around the curtain, and then we had to wait a fair chunk of time until we actually heard what the console was and saw the games and did all the things. So like, I don't think it's far-fetched for us to wait until April. It just feels like, the leaks kind of trumped them a bit, and they were just like, well, here it is. Here's the console. Ladies, got to ask, what do you think of the form factor?
I love it. Full stop.
Yeah. I'm on the fence. I have to see it in person. I'm not sure if the clicky clacky instead of the slidey is a better design decision.
Yeah.
Using
Will we
very
crack
technical.
off that port?
I did see that. That's the first thing I thought of when I did see that port.
Thinking about kids.
Yep.
And already the clicky clacky was pretty, the slide on, slide off was pretty easy. Harder to get them out. I always found it really hard to get the safety things off. I don't know about you guys. The black things with the strap that you're supposed to wear. I never put them on because I thought they were a bitch to get off, especially with the nails.
Yeah.
But this, I feel like you could snap them off pretty easily. I'm curious to see the actual build.
I feel if you have like a big claw grip, like a very strong grip, while you playing, I feel like they could bend.
But they're
handheld, or
they're enforced.
Yeah, they're enforced. So it's not
Yeah.
just So I think too that there's a little bit of, they'll show you how they're going to be put on. So instead of just a slide, or just like a sheer like 1-to-1 like right parallel, I bet you'll have to do a little bit of like finagling. But I did think about that right away. But I also think the performance should be better then, which I think is
because it's like connected in there really well.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm hoping that there's some sort of magnet system in there, so it kind of like pulls it towards it.
Yes.
That it kind of like snaps in, that you get that feeling of the magnet when it's just like, oh, it's in the right spot, just like clinks in there. Just
instead of just plastic connectors that can wear off, right?
Yeah. But speaking of if you have bigger hands, these are the Joy-Cons, if that's what they're going to call them. They are bigger. They're significantly bigger.
Yep.
The whole thing is bigger.
Yeah, the whole thing's bigger, which I think is good. Like, that's
I appreciate
nice.
that.
Yeah, I do too. And I also really liked that. I feel that they listened to a lot of what the people were saying about it. Like the kickstand in the back is bigger. It actually probably will hold this up, and it can go lower. Like you can
Yeah.
have
How
it.
low can you go?
It goes real low. And also, this hasn't been confirmed, but this is kind of also a little of the rumor mill. But they show it in the video. I'm watching the video on my phone of like the Joy-Cons can be a mouse. I think they're going to be able to be a mouse and use them in that capacity, which I think is really smart and clever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty nice. A nice update. I really hope that the joysticks don't give us drift so quickly.
I was about to say
slew of Joy-Cons and they
if they drift, I am never buying a Nintendo console ever again. Like I am going to be physically violent, I think. The price and the popularity, like you're doing a form factor. You had to fix stuff for free because of a class action lawsuit. If you're you're remaking your console and you didn't fix your major flaw, I'm going to be so angry, so mad. But apparently they're sturdier. Like I don't know if they went with a Hall effect. Now that I have like a Hall effect controller for my computer, I never want to go back. So I hope they're like nice, sturdy, and I don't have to buy a second pair of Joy-Con every fucking year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I bet, I mean, we don't have any information on cost, but I'm going to, go out on a limb and venture that these will be more expensive than the current Joy-Cons. Like
yes.
they have more, they have more, there's more bells and whistles on them, especially if they can be a mouse. They got the magnets in them. I just have a feeling that they'll be more expensive. So yeah, I don't want to continue to, although I do feel though that I've already gone through a few DualSense controllers.
Xbox controllers are the same.
Yeah, so I think
it's just a natural flaw with how those analog sticks are built now.
Yeah. So if I go through one, I'm going to be like, okay, you get one because I have to do that with all the rest of them. But if they keep going, which I got my Switch like right away in 2017. And I've only had one that drifted, so I had to get one new pair out of the whole time. But I also mostly play docked.
Yeah, I got the Pro controller.
And I got the Pro controller.
I think the Pro controller for me saved my Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
Because I did most of my Breath of the Wild, multiple Zelda games. I've played through with the Pro controller. I also don't have Mario Kart. I feel like games like Mario Party, Mario Kart means you use your Joy-Cons way more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did get one with drift and one that the actual external casing broke. So I just went and got a new pair.
Speaking of Mario Kart,
yo, Mario Kart,
man, the people were calling me out on the Discord channel.
Yep,
Super drop,
but like doesn't mean it's going to be there at lunch. But I have a super drop. Yeah. So the one thing they showed off was a random Mario Kart level that everyone was like, that wasn't in Mario Kart 8.
And everything is in Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, and Donkey Kong, the reason was Donkey Kong looks significantly different.
Yeah. It looks like the movie.
Looks wider.
Like the movie version.
But like in true Nintendo fashion, they're going to be like, hey, it's Super Mario Kart 8 Super Special Edition for the Nintendo Switch.
Well, some people are guessing that there is speculation that because they showed it in the trailer, that will be a bundle that will be available right away. It will be a Mario Kart Switch 2
maybe
bundle, but I don't know. That's just what some people are saying, that they teased it together. So
usually they don't do a bundle right off the get go.
Yeah.
But they need games with the thing.
Switch, I guess 1-2 Switch, but like, do you call that a game? Like a tech demo.
Yeah.
I mean, Astrobot was a tech demo.
But Astrobot was actually good.
It was fucking awesome.
It was amazing. Yeah, the first one
1-2
slapped.
Switch is like weird and
not good.
Odd
yeah.
And one or two things in there is good, and the rest of it you have to be high to play. So yeah, that's all we know about the console itself. We know no tech specs. We know nothing really. Just what people are speculating online. And then the other information that we got was that there is going to be a direct focused on the Nintendo Switch 2, which is the official name now, on the 2nd of April 2025, which is a little bit of a distance. Interesting, too, considering Pokemon Day is before that. People are rumoring there's going to be one less normal Nintendo Switch Direct. So that's kind of fascinating. And then they also note, they mentioned that there's going to be like a show-off tour where you can go and see the Switch, too, before it comes out. I remember an event like this in Toronto that I got flown out by Nintendo Canada to go to back in 2017, when the original console came out. And that it was really cool. And it was a good chance, like, I got to play Breath of the Wild and things like that, and play 1-2 Switch. And they had like photo opportunities and all that kind of stuff. Like, they had like almost like a diner set up for you to sit down and play 1-2 Switch. Like, it was kind of in Scissor Clips. I think that's what it was called. The one where it was like
I'm sure all of these photos are on the Girls on Games website somewhere.
They are. So yeah, there's one. The only Canadian date is Toronto. So I've already reached out to PR contacts to be like, yo, think of us. But yeah, I mean, that's all we know. I think like it looks exactly what everybody anticipated on those leaks and stuff. And I'm stoked.
Yeah. May I say that my one thing that they did that I did not expect is how simple and logical the name Nintendo Switch 2 is.
Yeah.
Because after the naming convention of the Game Boys
and the Wii U.
Yeah, the
Wii and the Wii U and everything. I was like, yeah, it's just a Nintendo Switch 2. It's just like it's what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, just be the Nintendo Switch 2. There's no mystery. When do you think it's going to come out? When it's going to release?
Christmas?
Think it's going to be holiday?
No, I'm just trying to think now. When was the date that we went to the tour? How long are those tours going on here now?
I think they're going through June.
They are going through June.
They're going through June.
So North America has New York, April 4th to 6th, Los Angeles, April 11th to 13th, Dallas, April 25, 27, and Toronto, April 25, 27. Europe, they've got Paris in beginning of April, London, middle April, Milan, late April. Oh, and Madrid is 9 to 11 of May. Amsterdam is 9 to 11 of May. And then in Asia, Seoul, Korea is May 31st to June 1st, 2025. Hong Kong to be announced and Taipei to be announced. Now, that may be because they're actually getting the console later and might not be a worldwide launch at the same time, but you never know, right? We're probably looking at June.
Okay.
I would think it'd be about like 2 months after that. I don't know.
I hope they don't sell out as fast, or they will be, because I remember at one point they were hard to get. I bought mine when Mario Odyssey came out, and had been out for like,
that was later. Yeah, that was a few months. Are you guys gonna buy it when it hits pre-release? I am.
I am. Yeah, I'm gonna pre-order. I'll pre-order it.
I'm on the fence.
Okay. What would make you pre-order, Kat?
A launch title I want to play. Because it is going to be expensive. Like, I don't think it's going to be cheaper than the base PlayStation 5 or the base or the
probably
Xbox.
$500 Canadian.
Yeah, and then add the.
Oh, see, I think it's going to be for the US. I think it's going to be cheaper than the PS5.
I think US it might be like $399, which means it's gonna be $500 for us.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm putting it US. I'm putting about $400 after $399.
I was guessing. Ballparking between $500 and $600.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a base price, at like that the games I
think are gonna be more expensive.
Yeah, because it's the Nintendo tax comes on the games. Like they want the hardware in. After that, the games are expensive. So I don't know. I wouldn't buy it just to play Mario Kart.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not. I'm not as into the handheld as I thought I would be.
Mm.
So, although it might be Pascal. That's like, yo, I want it. I have games I want to play or something, or I know I'm going to play it. When he goes to like Shadow Travels, like it doesn't see a lot of action. It sees more action in the place. Like, honestly, the PlayStation 5 is the thing that's like really like extra for me. That's the thing I didn't need. But yeah, I'm starting to think it's nice, but like I use mine like once a year.
But I do think we're in a weird space now too, that like there hasn't been as many releases on that console, or most things are coming to all things and you get it in a place that you already have it, right?
Yeah. I
there's
think
a form factor kind of side of it. The graphics are not going to be as good, all that kind of stuff that kind of holds you back from wanting to play things on Switch.
Exactly.
Third party, that is.
Exactly. Maybe if I were more like a globetrotter like Joelle is, going all over the United States on any given weekend, I would be looking at it. I would be looking at either a Steam Deck or this. But I am very much a homebody. I bought a laptop. I'm barely moving this thing out of my house. So yeah, I'm like, in terms of like, if you two are pre-ordering, like, we're covered for podcasts, for potentially getting review copies and having people, play games and review them. I'm really,
Makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm planning a tattoo instead.
Well, there you go.
There's your $400, $500. But speaking of cost, that is definitely something that's come up a lot over the past little while, because the creations of games have gotten more expensive. And one of the things I think we can kind of keep our eyeball on in 2025 is potential increase in the cost of games. One of the things that were trending this weekend on Twitter that I was seeing a lot, along with many other things, including the TikTok closure and the inauguration and everything else that was happening, was this, I guess, guesstimate from like the video game industry that Grand Theft Auto 6 may be more expensive at release than what we're kind of traditionally used to. So asterisk, this is in American dollars. So one of the big questions coming out is, how much is this game going to cost? Most AAA video games cost around $70, according to IGN, as stated, and that had a $10 price hike with the current generation of games in 2020. People are speculating that Rockstar could release GTA 6 anywhere from $80 to $100.
Just for a straight like vanilla edition, like pro wow.
Just because I guess the amount of work gone into something like this. While the price hike would certainly raise eyebrows of video game audience, Ball, this is actually someone who did this study, an analyst who did a study around, kind of what's happening in pricing of games and kind of the state of video games. Epilion CEO, that's the name of the company, Epilion CEO Matthew Ball. So he did this presentation of the state of gaming in 2025, and he argued that a $70 GTA 6 would be the cheapest Grand Theft Auto game ever released in real terms. That's when taking into inflation into account. In real terms, $91 would be average, he said.
Oh, wow.
And quote, packaged games prices have never been lower in real terms than they are today, even though budgets are at an all-time high and players' growth is stalled, Ball said in the report. GTA 6 could reestablish packed video game prices after decades of deflation despite rampant cost growth. So, that's something we might have to watch out for in 2025, especially speaking about the Switch, the Nintendo tax on games, just the cost of games. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing games that hit $80 USD is kind of like the standard price. And then we in Canada is just like, we're paying $100 no matter what. I know, it's expensive.
That is like, that I think hitting the triple, figure, the hundreds, like hitting those hundos, like, wow, that just feels like ouch. Like, I know they're expensive now, but it's just like, oof, that.
Yeah, just thinking about the number of hours put into one of those games and the amount of that you physically put into one of those games, and then also the amount of people and effort it takes to build one of those games. And I mean, I can understand it, and things are getting more expensive. You know, inflation, if you look at what games cost back in we were growing up, what they cost now, and you're just like, wow, we're actually getting things pretty cheap.
Yeah, that price hasn't moved.
Not really. Not since 2020 when it went up $10.
Yeah. And honestly, like before video games were made by like groups of 10, 20 people to code something on a cartridge. Now it's like, I installed Call of Duty because I wanted to look at their battle pass in their store because I work on a live game and somebody was like, what they're doing is amazing. Can we do stuff like that? And I'm like, probably not because we're on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 still, but I will look at it and I will get back to you. I counted 12 logos on boot.
12 studio logos. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm going to lose my voice there for a second. 12 studio logos.
Yes. It's a massive, massive team. And the amount of content, it was 50 gigs just to download the main game. I did not download something. I did not download anything playable, just the hub, just so they could feed microtransactions at me. And the amount of content in these games, like just explains the sheer size of it. And just people, how they're always hungry for more content. This game was too small. This game didn't have enough of this. This game is only 20 hours and and it's just like, shit's not free.
Yeah.
People making games is not free. The resources we use to make games are not free. We're burning the planet. Like we're consuming like global resources that contribute to like the climate crisis to produce these and for you to buy them and for you to run them and for you to play them. It's like at one point we have to like understand that these used to be a premium product and they're not anymore. It's just paying about $100 for something nowadays is normal. Like, just to give you an idea, I have a cart on Simon's, which is like a clothing store here, that I've had open all day to buy 2 t-shirts. 2 t-shirts. And I haven't pulled the trigger because 2 t-shirts is sitting at $60 Canadian. Pre-tax, pre-shipping, pre-everything. Like $60 to $100 is just what shit costs nowadays. We go to the grocery store for 2 people, it's $200 to $250 a pop.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
And imagine we buy a lot.
Stuff costs.
Yeah,
exactly. So I think we're just going to have to get over this psychological barrier because even at $100 for Grand Theft Auto 6 is still a steal. Considering the amount of content they're going to push into this game and the life cycle it's going to get.
They're projecting that it's going to make $3 billion in its first year of sale. That money's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
For GTA alone.
Yeah. But they've probably spent $1 billion already on it, if not 2.
Potentially. Yeah.
Like that $3 billion is not profit. It's probably a lot of it is just recoup.
No, the 3 it's not full profit, no.
Like it's going to be a very successful. They're going to make their money back within the first 2 years, I can guarantee. But when you see like 6 months $1 billion, they're still not break even. I will guarantee you like a lot of like the industry is very hush hush and a lot of it came out the financials because of all the acquisition by Microsoft. So it had to be put to light to the FTC. We're now realizing the costs of making these games, especially these long cycles, like 10 years to make a game.
Now, mind you, they were supporting the other game for quite a long time.
Yes. But then there's Red Dead Redemption in there.
Yeah, in the middle of it too.
Yes. But it's still a long time. And if GTA 5 was stopping to be a cash cow, that game would have come out earlier. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Speaking of game studios, one of the trends continuing from previous years was all around layoffs in the industry. There's a Wikipedia article that talks about the 2023-2024 video game industry layoffs. If you can believe that, that's actually a specific topic on Wikipedia. So yeah, over 10,500 jobs were lost in 2023. An additional 14,600 were lost in 2024. These layoffs have reverberating effects on both established game development studios and emerging companies, impacting employees, projects, and overall landscape of the gaming industry. Considering how much games cost to make, considering that we're not seeing the same surge that we had seen in 2020 and 2021 with people playing games because we can actually leave our houses now, do you ladies feel like this is going to be an ongoing trend, or have we hit the peak of the wave and we're coming down the other side and studios are starting to learn how to manage their people better?
I think a lot of it also comes from mass acquisitions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
A lot of it came from Microsoft.
Well, they mentioned here, including major job cuts from Embracer Group, Unity, Microsoft Gaming, Electronic Arts, Sony Interactive, Epic Games, Take-Two, Ubisoft, Sega, and Riot.
Yeah.
So
So
just the big names.
yes. So I think if the tech industry as a whole doesn't get healthier, I don't think the video game industry is going to get healthier. If we see more acquisitions or more mergers, then there's going to be more loss of jobs, more redundancies. I think what we're going to see a lot of in 2025 as to like this like quote unquote business crisis, if I may, for the video game industry would be studios starting to divest into brands and selling them.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Instead
there's
of closing studios like they did for Arcane Austin, London Studio, Pixel Opus, Riot Forge, Volition, Ready at Dawn, Firewalk Studios, and Game Informer.
yeah, there's Game Informer was an outlet though.
Yes, an outlet, but still one
Yeah.
that had been around
Forever.
as long as I can remember
Yeah,
doing video game stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big hit. That was a
paying attention to
big
video
loss.
games as
Yeah.
an enthusiast. You know,
That was a big
loss.
loss. Yeah.
You know?
I think like I think that's what we're going to start to see, like, you know, like studios that are sitting on IPs that are worth something. You know, a lot of studios are turning to like mass media to do like movies or TV shows to have another stream of income. But I think like smaller like mid-sized studios that have like big hit IPs could start selling them to like, let's say Sony, or selling them exclusivity, like literally like not just exclusivity, but like investing into the smaller studios to have exclusivity, a bit like they did for Haven, which became a PlayStation acquisition. Right now, Bungie is kind of PlayStation, but also just like, let's say EA's digging into their catalog. I doubt they'll do it because of EA Play, but I don't know. Let's say EA's like, man, the entire Respawn catalog, let's sell that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I don't know, a Square Enix buys it. Along with like publishing rights. Like I think we're going to see more, a bit like we're seeing in movies, more like IP and publishing rights sell.
And speaking of that, there's a ton of movies and video game TV shows.
Yes.
That are kind of coming out this year. I think we've really kind of hit a stride with that. I mean, we've got the Minecraft movie coming out in April. Until Dawn is coming out April 25th. Mortal Kombat 2, October 24th. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is coming out in December. And then Last of Us Season 2 is coming. You know, of course, Fallout is probably going to take a little bit longer if we get that pro. We'll see that till 2026. But, you know, we've seen a lot of good stuff in the, you know, video game realm. Sonic the Hedgehog, we just got one of those just before the holidays. So, like, yeah, I feel like, yeah, you're onto something there, Kat, of them kind of branching out beyond just the game itself, and because we've actually seen success.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm afraid of is right now we're seeing a lot of like sameness in the movie industry.
Yes. Very redundant and
very
dry.
Star Wars, Marvel,
Yes.
Disney.
Mhm.
And I'm afraid
it worked before.
Yeah.
They saw money in it.
Everybody's playing it safe. So that's why I'm afraid like for video games, they're going to start playing it safe. They're either going to sell them to have new franchises to break the sameness of the movie industry, like we're seeing with like Fallout and Last of Us going to TV. Like they're going to try to break that sameness, or they're going to keep their safe IPs and, like I said, maybe divest and sell old IPs that they haven't really used to see if they can just make a money, and somebody runs off with that and maybe revives it. Those are like my two things. My favorite news so far was like people were talking, we've gone full circle, right? Helldivers movie. So a video game based on Starship Trooper is going to fucking make its own Starship Trooper.
Oh my god.
Full fucking
Full
like
meta.
Like I've seen enough Helldivers to know that it's Starship Trooper without getting sued.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Oh, we could make a movie." I'm like, "There is a movie. It's called Starship Troopers." I'm pretty sure the people that make Helldivers know that movie by heart.
Let's get on the happy train before we close out the show.
Yes.
Obviously, we've heard lots of games. We talked about it the past week or so. The games coming out in 2025. I wanted to ask you, ladies. Like, obviously, there's reams and reams of games that we're going to play over the course of this year. But if there's something really particular that you're super keen on, that you're excited about, what it might be, Joelle, let's start with you.
I am really looking forward to playing The Altars. That one looks great. I am happy to play whatever game comes out with the new Nintendo Switch, like the new Mario title. Like I am so excited for that as well. And I will say Ghosts of Yotai. I'm also I will try to wait patiently. So
Did you play Tsushima?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was magical. Yes, it was so good. I actually thought about maybe just dipping back just to kind of just for funsies, like not maybe play through the whole game, but just go through. And I also played the DLC that came out too. So I loved that game. That game was so fun. So yeah.
Catherine?
Definitely Ghosts of Yotai. Getting the fucking console just to play it. To no one's surprise, the high fantasy magic games Avowed and Fable that's supposed to come out this year. I've never played the original Fables, but I've told I would have loved it if I would have grown up with an Xbox 360, but I didn't. So I'm looking forward to the new one. And lastly, because I found out it's being made by Row Factor and my friend works there, Hell Is Us looks actually very dope. But I am on the fence because it might be too spoopy. But it's giving me Control vibes. Not Control vibes in the sense of the same gameplay story and whatever, just in terms of like the level of spoop, like the atmospheric, like it. I think it's more like not horror. It looks more like dark fantasy meets dark sci-fi. I don't know. I am intrigued. I am intrigued, and I might play that.
Sweet.
It is third person.
Yes. Compared to Avowed, which is first person, and then I'm like, that's why I am.
When does that release?
Hell Is
Which one?
Us?
Yeah.
Hell Is Us was slated for this year, but there's no date.
Yeah, there's no date. Okay.
Yeah, there's no date.
I'm going to have to watch some of that because, that was a fairly new one for me, but like the shots that I see of it.
Yeah, it was announced 2 years ago-ish, and then release pushed back, teased for possibly 2 years ago, then pushed to 2025. But there is like trailers and screenshots and stuff, and it looks good.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Yeah. So those are my 4 games that I'm highly looking forward to.
Yeah. There are a slew of games that I'm excited about, but the one that I can say I've been actively looking forward to even before it was announced, and then when it's delayed, I was disappointed, but I was like, you cook! Level 5, you cook. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. It is set to come out in April. No date on it yet, but set to come out in April. It did have a date last year in October, but then they pushed it. The last Fantasy Life game came out in 2014. It was on the DS, and I played the absolute poop out of that.
I remember.
I am really excited to see where they go next. This was one that Allie had recommended to me, and she just knew what I would like. Yeah, I am really excited, and especially if it's gonna have, if I play it and then potentially like port it over to a Switch 2 afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Like just knowing that thing is going to be backwards compatible, I'm like, yes. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. There's tons of other games that like the first half of the year we're packed with good stuff. It's a smorgasbord of content. Like, don't even get me started on the indies and stuff that,
I lost track of the indies. Like, I remember some of the stuff we saw at the Wholesome Stack.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm drawing a blank, but there's the one where you date and you match candies.
Yeah.
That one I'm looking forward to. But like everything else was like so much information about indies. I'm like, as they come out, like as I see you pop up maybe in my Game Pass or in my feed, like on Blue Sky, like then I'll be like, oh yeah, this game. But right now I am thoughts of Ghosts of Yote only.
Spirit Swap.
Thank you, Spirit Swap. Apparently there's Date Everything that looks fun too.
Yes, Date Everything. I'm so excited for Date Everything.
Well, 2025 is shaping up to be an interesting year. I love console release years. They're always super exciting. So, we'll have lots to chat about this year in GOG. That kind of wraps up our show for this week. As always, check out the show notes on girlsongames.ca for links to the stories mentioned in this episode. We'll link to all the different things we spoke about, including the article on IGN about GTA prices and Nintendo's look at the Nintendo Switch 2, if you haven't seen it already, but you probably have. Thank you, Catherine, for doing that for us each week. If you have the power to rate and review this podcast on the podcasting platform where you're consuming us, that would be much appreciated. Why? It helps with discovery, moves us up in the rankings, and any comments help us build our show. So thank you very much. This is the moment also where I ask the crew to shout out their social media handles so you can follow them anywhere and everywhere online. Catherine, where can people find you?
I am CSDSBINS on Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, still slightly on X. I had the handles there. But I am getting rid of my social media addiction. So if you really, really want to interact with me, either Blue Sky or Discord are really the best way. Everything else is just a mess of notifications.
Joelle, how about you?
People can find me on Instagram at JoelleLauren87, on Blue Sky at JoelleLauren, but always hanging out and chatting it up in the Girls on Games Discord. Come and say hi.
And I am Leah Jewer on most social media platforms, but of course you want to know everything there is to know about Girls on Games. You can track us down at The Girls on Games on X and Facebook. Just Girls on Games on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok, which is still alive. Discord.me/girlsongames to continue this lovely conversation and more. But of course, if you ever need to know anything at all, you can track it down at our home base. That's our website, girlsongames.ca. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Joelle. It's been another lovely week in video games, and I'm going back to Infinity Nikki to dress up my character in fancy sparkly outfits. Woo! All right, bye!
Bye!